Hi, I'm back. It's been 4 months, I think, since I posted on YouTube. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really, really, really want to post on here more, but long form content just scares me because my entire social media career, I've been doing short form. So that's what my brain is trained to do, and I don't like to edit and do all those things. So these videos are going to be very raw and authentic, okay? And also, I just didn't want my whole YouTube to be just books because I don't want that. I want to be able to branch out. However, all I do is read right now. So it's going to be books and random things throughout, okay? But the point of this video is I want to do like weekly reading vlogs and spend more time talking about the books like as I'm reading them. So this definitely will be more on the spoilery side of things. So I'll use my short form contents to just do like the basic non-spoilery stuff, but this is probably where I'll get more nitty gritty with some of the stuff and like read in real time, you know? So yeah, that is my plan, is to try to do weekly reading vlogs, because I've also been like, there'll be weeks where I read so many books and then weeks where I don't touch a book. Just, I'm all over the place. I want to regulate. Okay. So that is my goal with these. So yesterday I actually did quite a bit of reading. I didn't film any of it because I didn't get the idea to do this until after, let's be so real. But I do want to at least talk about some of the books because I finished one, started and finished two of them, graphic novels, and then read more of another. So let's get into what I read yesterday, which I finished Bite Me, and this is a forbidden teenage romance, MM romance, between a vampire and a werewolf. They're not allowed to be together, all that things. This is a Wattpad story. I absolutely loved it. There were obviously times where I was extremely frustrated with these people and wanted to jump in the book and smack the shit out of them. But like, that's kind of the essence of a teenage romance, is it not? Like, they are so unbelievably frustrating and annoying at times, but then it's just like so pure, and I absolutely loved it. There is a graphic novel that goes with this. I'm not getting up to get that. Love Bites. I loved that a lot as well, just because it gives you, I read that like a week ago, just to see if I liked the story before I committed to the whole book, you know? I really loved both of them, and just, yeah, I would recommend checking them out. Is the like the most perfect writing? No. I mean, these are Wattpad stories, you know? But I absolutely loved it. So then I started and finished the graphic novel Accidental Assassin. I really do enjoy this. My thing is, obviously this is just volume one, so we are just barely scratching the surface of the story and how it's going to progress, you know? So we just kind of got like the introduction of it, and I enjoyed it a lot, so I'm very, very excited to see where it's going to go from here. Next up, we also had another graphic novel, which is Lore of Olympus. I actually absolutely love this storyline and like the art style of it. Like, come on. I wasn't sure. Obviously, I knew going into this that it was a Hades and Persephone retelling, but that's all I knew, so I wasn't sure how they were going to approach doing that. And this one was very much more modern than I was expecting it to be. And usually when it comes to like the Greek gods and goddesses, I don't like it to be on the modern side. Just like, they're my ancient beings, you know? Let's keep it classic. Whoa, my bad. However, I did really like this one a lot. I was not expecting it to start off with them like in a bar and like they're meeting because Persephone is so drunk that Aphrodite gets pissed off that Hades said that Persephone was more beautiful than Aphrodite. So then Aphrodite has Eros take her drunk ass and throws him in Hades, or her into Hades' car, and like that was the intro. Wasn't expecting it, but I'm here for it. It did leave very much on a cliffhanger, as you would expect with a graphic novel. So I do want to get more into that. And then also I just read a little bit more of Forsaken Prophecy. Guys, it's 6 a.m. I'm sorry. Cut me some slack. My brain is not working. So I read some more of this. I have been eyeball reading it, but yesterday I did switch to the graphic because it's slowed down a little bit in certain parts, so I just need a little help to get me through it, okay? So that's what I read yesterday. My goals for today, which is Sunday, is to finish Forsaken Prophecy. I would also like to finish Lady of Shadow. I'm on chapter 15 of this one. This one I have very mixed feelings about so far, because this was like instant love, okay? And not that I'm against instant love necessarily if it's done right. I just feel like it doesn't fit this story the way I want it to, you know? So like in the story we have Dorian, who is a antiques investigator who gets hired by some shady individuals to go find this, I can't remember what it was, but it's an artifact, okay? And this old mansion that's been abandoned, whatever, there's, you know, myth, legend, whisperings of the Lady of Shadow, whatever that means to people. So he goes to this house, he finds the thing, and he's got like bodyguards with him from the dude that hired him or whatever. And they find the artifact, but the Lady of Shadow shows up, and no one is taking that artifact from her. So like the way she shows up is okay, here's what I did love is that like the vampire lore of all this is like going back to like the OG days. Like for me, it very much so reminds me of like vampire movies that I would see as a kid, where it's like they're more demonic-ish looking, and like she got turned into a vampire by getting bit by a bat while she was sick, I believe. And like I liked going back to those roots because I just feel like vampire stories these days and how all the vampires become vampires, it's the same all over and over again. So like I like going back to the OG roots of that, okay? But like, so anyway, her intro into the scene, okay, is like she just comes out of nowhere and like everyone can sense it, whatever, and she just starts like killing, destroying, like gruesome, like the gruesome vampire ways of killing, okay? And which I love that. I love that introduction. What I didn't love is how instant love it came, because it's like, okay, so she, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube. It's okay, so she unalives the bodyguards, and Dorian is there, like left, whatever, and like with her unaliving them, that's when like her beauty starts coming back, because like she's sucking the life force out of them basically. So like she goes from like haggard looking to like gorgeous, which again I like that part. What I don't like is that like Dorian, she's going around unaliving all these people, and Dorian's like, oh my god, I'm in love with her, she's stunning, the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. And like quite literally she is getting ready to like kill him. He's like, well wait, before you kill me, can you please, I don't know what I'm allowed to say here, can you so it was just like instant unaliving, then passionate lovemaking. And I was just like, I feel like I would have wanted it to be more like a he becomes her prisoner type thing, and then they fall. Like I just wish it would have been more drawn out, not like, oh my god, you're the most beautiful murder goddess. I don't know what YouTube's probably gonna take this down. I don't know what I'm allowed to say, so I'm gonna have to learn the rules of that. But I don't know. It's just I'm not hating the story as a whole. There's just things about it where I'm like, I wanted more of a build up, you know? So yeah, my goal for the day is to finish Forsaken Prophecy, finish Lady of Shadow. I will update you guys throughout my day, I hope, while doing them. And I would love to start a new book today. Oh, also, I'm redoing like my audiobooks for the week. I'm re-listening to the Throne of Glass world. So like each month I'm kind of going to take one of the series leading up to them being announced. So I am currently almost done with the tandem read of Empire of Storm and Tower of Dawn. Still fucking hate that one. But like those aren't my focus to be reading this weekend. Like those are my for at work, just because like I don't have to be fully locked in because I know the story and all that, it's just like a recap. So I'm not keeping those in consideration of like my goals for trying to finish books and do things while I'm doing these, but I would really like to at the end of the day start Rely on Death. That is my goal. Who knows, I will probably get burnt out because I have been reading so much this weekend. Stay tuned to find out. I am going to go try read Lady of Shadow for a couple hours, because this one I have to physically read, whereas Forsaken Prophecy, I am doing the audiobook for the rest of it. So we shall see how this day goes. I'll keep you updated. Guys, we had a really good reading Sunday today, I managed to finish both of the books that I wanted to finish, and I started another one. So let's talk about them. So first up, I finished A Forsaken Prophecy, which is book 2 in A Forbidden Alchemy series. If you have not read that yet, what are you doing? If you ask me, this is one of the better romances that have been released in the last couple years, I'm not saying a lot. So this is book 2, picks up right after book 1. This one is very, very heavy on the world building. At times, it dragged a little bit for me, but it was all so necessary to open this world up even more. And I really did love it at the end of the day. We had a lot more POVs in it this time. We got a whole bunch of new characters introduced, more depth on the other characters. We got to see Nina kind of tapping more into her angry side, which I loved, and I really, really hope we just fully go in the next book. We got more of the little romance between Nina and Patrick, and that spicy scene. Might as well. It was so good. What else? There was hella betrayals, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, the one at the end I saw coming from a mile away, because I did not trust that shady mother since they were introduced, okay? There was just something that was off the whole time, and I just knew they were no good, okay? And then we ended up in a cliffhanger like Stacey likes to do to us. So I am ready for book 3 immediately, and based on how this one went and how it was built up, I think book 3 has eventually pretty damn epic. So get on it, people. Okay, then the next one I finished was Lady of Shadow. This one I have lots of thoughts and feelings on, to be honest, okay? Overall, it was a good book. I enjoyed my time with it, but there were definitely things that I didn't like about it, but there were also things that I did like about it. I like that the overall feel for this one was very nostalgic and like reminiscent of like the vampire movies that would be on TV when I was a kid, you know, where it's like it's not glamorized how it is nowadays, where like, you know, she became a vampire because she was sick and got bit by a bat. She's the only vampire to exist, basically. And there was a lot of like the crazy gory vampire attack type situation, which I absolutely loved. This book drew me in pretty quickly. But I'm not gonna lie and say that there wasn't a pretty big chunk of the book where like it just felt really stagnant, like it wasn't going anywhere. And then the last like 100, 150 pages, we really ramped up and we had another vampire outrage and just gore, 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 and I loved it. I loved the end. There are definitely things that I would have liked to see done differently, okay? And mostly it being, there were some like spice forward parts of the book that like to me they just didn't really make all that much sense and it wasn't necessary. But I think the biggest one is just the fact that this was like very instant love, and I just like, I'm talking, we're like 5 chapters in, they're already banging in love, okay? Like she goes on a rampage, immediately is killing everyone, and it's one of those, hey, before you kill me, can you take me to Pound Town? Like quite literally that's how it was introduced, and then they fell in love and became something. And I just think that it could have been more beneficial to the story if it was almost like one of those like, please don't kill me, and then like he almost becomes like her captive or whatever, and then like slowly over time then it becomes like a romance type thing. I just feel like that would have been better for the story, and with having like the slow burn of it all, if it could have done that, I feel like it could have erased some of how stagnant the book was for a little bit, you know? So it's one of those where it's like, I enjoyed it, but it definitely wasn't like, with how it ended, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next in the series, and I will continue it, but I'm not rushing to it, you know, if that makes sense. Okay, and then lastly, I started Rely on Death, which is kind of a Persephone and Hades retelling, but not, because like, yes, her name is Persephone based on Persephone, and yes, he's the god of death, but he's Thanatos. I don't know how you pronounce it, but he's the god of peaceful death. I'm really liking the vibe of it though so far. And I have a feeling like the way this is going is like, this is one of those where like this book is gonna become my entire personality when I'm done with it. I'm just loving everything about it. Here we got some fan art, love it. There's so much mystery going on in this because Persephone is basically, she's like cursed. Everyone around her dies. Like she was in a car crash with her family. Her entire family died. She's the only one that survived. So like now everyone just thinks that she is like cursed, and basically the fates are out to get her. And Thanatos is like trying to help, but no one knows why they're after her right now. So I'm only 100 pages into this, but I am eating this shit up. It is so good. So I will definitely be letting you guys know how I feel about this, because as of right now, it's just like, it's checking all of my boxes. Like we have so much Greek mythology lore in here, which you guys all know I'm a whore for Greek mythology. But not only that, it's like the lore in this is like the not as common lore, you know, which for those that know Greek mythology as much as I like to, you know, it's the stuff that's not super over top. Like for Medusa example, like they talk about like her real story, not like how she was a victim, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm really, really, really enjoying this book right now. So I'm probably honestly gonna keep reading more tonight. I don't know, but yeah, that was my little Sunday reading wrap up. I'll keep you posted on the rest of the week. I don't know how much I'm gonna be reading because my mood reading is all over the place. And between yesterday and today, I've read so much. So I know me, a burnout will be coming very shortly. But I am going to do my best to make these little vlog clips every day, because I would like to do the weekly vlogs. I really want to get into that, okay? So yeah, stay tuned. Happy Monday, guys. We finished some books today, okay? It was a very slow day at work, so I was able to finish my tandem listen to Empire of Storm and Tower of Dawn. I still love Empire of Storm so much, and I still despise is a really harsh word, but I still just do not like Tower of Dawn. It's just, I get it, I appreciate it. If I do another reread in the future, I'm gonna be so honest, I'm probably skipping it that time around. 2 times, it was enough for me. But I will say that doing the tandem read for those two was so much better, because last time I read them, I did Empire of Storm and then I did Tower of Dawn, because I didn't know a tandem read was a thing. I read the series before I was on social media, so I didn't know the rules. But if you have the ability to tandem read, please tandem read, because Tower of Dawn is just snooze fest. So anyway, moving on. I also started and finished Toothsucker today, and I have my feelings about that one are kind of all over the place because I absolutely loved the world itself. Like, we have a cyberpunk teeth-eating vampire. Love the whole premise of that. I love the way the world is described, all the things in it. But when it came to the actual characters themselves and the plot, it just fell flat. Words are so hard. It fell flat for me. The characters, they were just very surface level. And when it came to the actual plot and the storyline of it all, it just felt very fast-paced, but in a way that was almost so fast-paced that I couldn't really fully grasp everything. And I feel like we were just kind of moving around too quickly from one thing to another, and just, it was the pacing. I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. It was the pacing of that book that just needed to, like, reel it in some, because the concept itself it has the potential to be fantastic. I mean, it's a relatively shorter book. I think it was only like 330 pages maybe. So I feel like if we would have just slowed it down, beefed it up some, I think it had so much potential to be amazing. It is one that, like, I genuinely feel like would make an amazing anime, and I would watch that. Like, in my head, I was picturing the anime Cyberpunk, just with vampires that eat teeth and, like, you know, all that. I don't know. I think I'm still going to continue the series and see where it goes, but it just needs to be slowed down. I want him to take more time in the characters and the plot, like he did the world building, because the world building was incredible. So I know book 2 is already out, and book 3 will be out later this year, which I think is also kind of the problem, because, like, I think book 1 was released May of 2025, and we're about to have book 3 of September of this year released. Like, slow it down, take your time, because this has the potential to be so incredible. So yeah, that's all I finished today. And then I've read about, I think, like 15, 20 more pages of Rely on Death, and I'm still just as obsessed with this. Greek mythology lore, you know, the mythology of it all, I love it. Like, nothing super crazy has happened just yet. There's kind of a lot of, like, still mysteries and, like, what's going on, why is this happening, no one knows. But I'm so invested in it. So I will probably spend a good chunk of tonight reading more of it, and we'll talk about it some more tomorrow. But this one, I think it's gonna be so good, so good. So yeah, that is my Monday wrap up. I'm proud of myself for remembering to do this. Happy hump day, guys. This is like the longest week of my life, and that is me just probably being really dramatic. But you know what, at least we're reading some good books this week, so that's a plus. I did not read at all yesterday because I was in orientation all day for work. You know, orientation 2 months after I started the job. It is what it is. And then I just ended up getting a headache when I got home, so, like, I didn't read a book. Okay, it's fine. But today we are reading some pretty good books. Well, I started off the day not on the best note. I started with an arc this morning whose name I will not be divulging at this time because I did DNF it. But I cannot tell right now if I'm the problem or if the book was the problem. I just know that we were not compatible this morning. My issues were, like, the book, the way it started off, like, for me, it just felt like I was kind of dropped randomly into the story and was having a really hard time finding my footing in it, I guess. Like, I was liking what I was reading, but I also was having a really hard time understanding, like, the hows and whys of it all. And then I was also seeing some sort of, like, grammar and, like, just editing errors. So it's one of those where, like, I don't know if it was me that was the problem or if it was the book, but it's one where I definitely want to give myself space and then maybe try to go back to it. So I don't want to be, like, bashing it until it gets a full fair chance. We'll see. But then I did, after that one, start another arc. What was it called? She Who Holds My Wrath, which is book 2, and I don't remember what the series is called. I'm so bad at remembering, like, series names. I know the books, I don't know the series names. But book 1 was He Who Holds My Soul, and this is a dark romantasy, and I absolutely love this one. It is so good. Book 2 is pretty much starting right after where book 1 left off, and I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of feminine rage in this one. That's just, like, kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, well, I don't want to say too much because, like, I don't like talking about, like, books that are later in the series because it's like, in order to talk about them, you kind of have to spoil things that happen in the first one, you know? All I do know is Daisy is just losing loved ones left and right, and my heart breaks for her. So, I don't know. I'm only, like, 25%, I think, into this one, but I'm really liking it, and I think the vibes are going to be good. And then for my physical, I'm still reading Rely on Death. and I'm still really, really, really loving this book. It's weird though, because this one is very much so like a slower world building book, but it's just like the way it's written and all of that I'm eating it up, even though it's not like it's not super crazy and not a whole bunch is happening right now. It very much feels like a world building setup type situation, but it has me so drawn in. Greek mythology in me, I love it so much. There's also a lot of like psychological type stuff, because it's like she's going through traumas in this book, and it's kind of like, how in Twilight, like Bella goes through all of her crap and it's like her staring out the window for months and months. Like, it kind of gives some of those vibes in here. And yeah, I don't know, I'm really, really, really loving this book, and I'm like kind of taking my time just because I don't want it to end. Like, I don't have much left, and this is supposed to be a trilogy, I believe, is what I've heard. It's a shorty too, and I honestly hate how short this book is, because I'm so in love with it. And when I'm really in love with a book, I want them to be thick, beefy bitches. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm probably going to spend more of my night reading this, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting another headache. I think I'm just dehydrated, but it is what it is. Other than this morning's flop of a book, that might have been my problem. I'm really, really loving the books that I'm reading right now. But they're both dark fantasies, like dark romantasy type situation, and normally I try to avoid reading two of the same genre, because you guys know that I don't remember shit to begin with. So like, it's a dangerous game. I'm going to be merging these books together in my head, but so far I'm keeping them very, very separate because of the fact that I love them both so much. Like, they are their own thing. So I'm definitely in my dark romantasy era right now, and I'm here for it. I need more of that. If you guys have recs, let me know. Dark romantasy, dark fantasy. Yeah, I think I'm just going back into the darkness, to be honest, because even dark romance is kind of coming back in my horizons. But yeah, yep, that was my Wednesday. I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow, maybe today. We'll see. I'll keep you up to date. So I did in fact forget to vlog yesterday for what I was reading. Go figure. But you know what? Learning curve. I just have to get my brain to remember to do the damn thing. We'll see what happens, because I want to do this, okay? I need to do it. So anyway, yesterday I didn't read all that much anyway. I think I just read like 40% of She Who Owns My Wrath, and was liking it a lot. I actually ended up finishing that today. And overall, I thought it was a really good book too. I do wish it would have been a little bit on the darker side of things, but like, that's just me, I feel like it did a really, really good job of expanding the world in the series, and I'm very curious to see how things are going to unravel and how people are going to unravel, I don't know. And then after I finished that, I did listen to the audiobook of Born in Fire today. It's a no for me. It really, I went into this thinking that this was romantasy, okay? I think that's where, because I'm pretty sure that's what I was told when it was sent to me. I don't know, but it was very much so lit RPG. So, going into the book thinking it was going to be this one thing and then it'd be like the complete opposite, that already set it up for failure. But it is what it is. I still listen to it anyway, because it's a relatively shorter book, and it's just, I don't like the DNF books, okay? I DNF'd one earlier this week. I don't like that I DNF'd it. It is what it is. But this book, for one, I was not really a huge fan of the narrator. I think, if I remember correctly, the character, the FMC in this book is like 24 years old, and I feel like the narrator sounded too old for her. And then, not only that, but it's just like the writing, I did not like the writing, okay? And this is going to sound really shitty. It is what it is. This is just my opinion. And I also want to say that I have read another book from this author, and I loved that book, okay? So I think this series is somewhat older, too. I don't know. It is what it is. The fact of the matter is, my issue with this writing is that it genuinely felt like it was written by a prepubescent boy. And there were some of, like, the reaction words in some of this. I'm like, there's no way in hell that a grown-ass woman would ever say that. There was just so many things that just kind of cringed me, and I just wasn't a fan. I don't know. There was nothing about this book that hooked me. And on top of that, like, the amount of times that this main character had talked about how she was half human, half something else. No one knows. Like, I'm pretty sure she knows what she is. And, like, it's some God level type thing, But, like, the amount of times it was brought up that, like, oh, nobody else knows what I really am, like, type of vibe. And I don't understand how this book was this cringy for me based on the other works I've read from this author. I don't know. It just, I hate that I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Okay? I mean, it is what it is. I think for my next book, I might end up starting this arc I have, Your Boyfriend Needs an Exorcist. Honestly, just because the cover is really cool. And I did read like a chapter of this like a month ago, and it was started off really good vibes. I don't have that much time to like physically sit and read the book. Like if I had the Kindle version or the audio, you know, like I would have, it's just paperback. I don't got time, you know? But I think that this might be my weekend read. It comes out in September sometime. So yeah, I'm really disappointed about that book. It is what it is. Yeah. I don't know if this is where I'm ending the vlog or not. Like today's Friday. Should I wait? Because I started it, I think, on Saturday. I know I shouldn't be discussing this with you guys, but I am discussing this with you guys. I don't know how I want to do this. I'm really just trying to post more on YouTube at the end of the day and figure out what that means, okay? So I'm probably going to be experimenting with a lot of different things for the foreseeable future, just to get my grasp. I think that today, this might be the end of this week's reading wrap up, and I might just like start fresh on Saturdays, you know? Yeah, I'll probably do that. So that's what I read this week. What did you read this week? I gotta figure out how to end these. Till next time. I promise it won't be 4 months from now. Post-edit Kyle here. So yeah, we definitely have work to do on improving these vlogs. I feel like it's honestly one of those things where it's just going to take time and me getting comfortable doing them again. I never did them. Just getting comfortable doing them, because it's more like I need to get comfortable with having a camera in front of my face at any time of the day, you know? I don't like doing the whole thing out in public and whatnot, so we're going to have to just get over it and do the damn thing, you know? We'll get there. We will improve. Or at least I'm going to try to, because I would rather have tried and failed than not tried at all and wondered what could have been, you know? So if you've made it to the end of this, I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you next week, hopefully, if I remember. I already started next week's vlog, so hopefully I remember to continue to do it. Yeah. See you next week.